Sarah here, aka the Business Fixer. So today I am talking about your essential guide on accounting software for business owners. Now, this is not going to be the most exciting topic. I appreciate that for some of you, geeking out on technology, etc., is not necessarily your bag. However, please stick with me. The reason why I'm saying stick with me is because this is a really vital part of your business, and it's vital in terms of one of the foundational systems that you need to have, which will make your life easier in the long run. Because ultimately, managing your business finances effectively is more than just a necessity. It's absolutely, in my view, mission critical. Now, it genuinely surprises me how many businesses are still using traditional methods like spreadsheets and I can remember working with a business, this was many years ago, where they literally had a cash book. So it was an accounting book and it was all written by hand, right? You know, those traditional methods, they just consume time. They're not effective, they're prone to errors, and they can often skew your financial perspective, right? And I'll give you a prime example with this. So I was working with a client a few years ago, and they were relying on a spreadsheet in terms of tracking their numbers. And they had got to the end of their financial year, and they thought they had made a really substantial profit. When it went to the accountant and when they actually had fact checked it against bank statements, etc., they had only just broken even. So this is where it clearly demonstrates that those types of systems can be unreliable. And ultimately, you cannot make informed decisions about how you're going to move your business forward if you cannot trust your numbers. So it's so important that you stop relying on outdated methods, and an accounting software offers a much smarter way to handle your finances. It's so much more accurate, and the insights are ultimately vital for your business's growth. Right. So I've kind of touched upon some of the advantages there, but I want to go into a bit more detail. So I know that some businesses are reluctant to move forward with technology even now, and now with things like AI kind of coming into the mix. This to me is a system that actually is, it's not even what I call modern now. You know, this is a system that should be in place. It's not a modern system. It's something that just purely is essential. And when it comes to the advantages, it helps automate routine tasks that are essential, as I say, but yet time consuming. So it's things like invoicing, managing your payroll, calculating your taxes. The systems handle critical operations efficiently, minimizing the errors. So for example, invoicing. You know, if you have particular clients on a monthly retainer, so or like, for example, accountancy services, you'll often have your clients where you're invoicing monthly the same amount. You can automate that. So effectively, you create the template invoice, you create a reoccurring template. It goes out each month. But also now with, for example, Xero, you can also do auto pay, where effectively when you issue that invoice, they have to put in their card details, takes the first payment, and then it will automatically take the payment going forward. It uses Stripe as a payment service to do it. But this is a way that actually really, in my view, automate is part of your process that effectively, if it's automated in that way, you're less likely to forget to invoice. you're more likely to get the money in time, rather than you consciously being aware, right, today is my day where I issue all of the invoices. Today is the day I need to do my credit control, because all of things like this can be done automatically. Another key advantage is it's real-time visibility into your business's financial health. They link into your bank account, so it pulls your bank feed. Now, one of the things is I think it does depend on who you bank with as to how up to date that data is. So, for example, I know with experience that Barclays is always usually a day behind, whereas Starling is pretty bang up to date. So that obviously you might be a day in it in terms of your figures, but it's certainly going to be a lot closer than if you were doing it like the traditional accounting methods. So you've got up-to-date data. You can be looking at your reporting, which allows you to be able to make timely and informed decisions. And to me, this instant access can be an absolute game changer, and it helps you really adjust your strategies quickly to ensure that you've got that financial stability and growth. Okay. Right. Another advantage is compliance. So now, I'm not an accountant, and your accountant will be able to better inform you. But I know, for example, that there is a change coming whereby, for example, sole traders are now actually having to potentially, I believe, do quarterly reporting to show to show their financial position, and that's something that has to be done digitally. There was a change a few years ago where, for example, VAT, you had to do it all through an accounting software rather than going to HMRC and actually filling in the data. So make tax digital, you may have heard that phrase. So this is where you can make sure that you are being compliant. Also, as your business expands, your financial management needs are going to become more sophisticated. So high quality accounting software will be able to grow with your business, adapt to your more complex needs without the need for frequent system changes. And this adaptability provides a stable and reliable foundation for managing your business's finances as it grows. So what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about choosing your accounting software. What are the options? Now, this is by no means an exhaustive list. There are lots of other softwares out here, but these are some of the key players, right? So you've got QuickBooks, Sage, FreshBooks, and Xero. There are things like Free Agent, which I think comes with your NatWest Bank, but I'm just going to talk about the core four at this moment in time. Okay. So QuickBooks, for example, it's known for its user-friendly interface and suits sometimes, I think, the smaller businesses, the startups maybe. But one of the things that I've experienced when I have used it, because I've used it with my clients, is it requires really careful setup from the start to be able to get the function out of it, the most optimum function out of it. Now, for example, and this is some may sound to you accounting language, but it's something called nominal codes, right? Or in some softwares, it's called chart of accounts. These are literally the codes where when you are putting something into your books, that effectively it's allocated against. So, for example, when you pay your accountant, it goes against your accountancy fees. If you are doing marketing, it goes to your advertising and marketing. If you're paying salaries, it goes to your salary. These are all specific codes that need to be set. And within QuickBooks, you have to manually put set that information up. So if you're doing it yourself because you don't want to pay an accountant, that's where fundamentally things can go wrong right from the get-go. Okay. I've also seen it where I personally think that the data entry can be somewhat lengthy and cumbersome. So, for example, when you are demonstrating you've made a payment, I think there's a two-step process, whereas I've used softwares where it's a one-step process. So for me, QuickBooks, I know that there are some out there that absolutely love QuickBooks. I'm personally not a fan. Sage, well, this is it's very well equipped. It's got some really powerful features, particularly for detailed financial management. And I know that it can be quite good if you're particularly product based and you've got a lot of different products, but it is quite clunky and can be quite intimidating. It's not good for smaller businesses, but it can be, I know that some of the much larger corporations find that Sage is still their go-to. Now, FreshBooks, in my experience, I haven't had a lot of experience with it, but from my understanding and from what I've seen of it, it's ideal for freelancers and really small businesses focusing on the very basic tasks like basic invoicing and expense tracking. But it does fall massively short when it comes to detailed financial reporting, which in my view is one of the most important parts of your software. So you need to be able to track your numbers to be able to understand your business's financial health in depth. And this is where that is missing. Okay, so Xero. This is where, for me, Xero excels because it's got a comprehensive out-of-the-box nominal code. So I talked to you about with QuickBooks, it doesn't. Xero very much does. It's very easy and quick and easy to start entering your data and actually get going with it. It's easy to connect your bank feed, which makes the bank reconciliation nice and easy. And even that, I was talking with somebody today at a networking event where we laughed about the fact that we love doing where the green boxes come up and it's an okay. It's a good feeling. And this is where, again, I was talking to you about payments. For example, if you have put your suppliers' invoices into Xero and you need to then reconcile it, what will happen is it will see on the bank that you've paid something, and it will recognize the fact that it's that supplier, that invoice, and you literally click OK. And not only does it reconcile it on your bank, but it also then does the payment behind the scenes at the same time. I don't mean payment out of the bank. I mean showing in your accounts that it's been paid. It has so many different integrations like Stripe. So for me, I think it's a top choice for businesses of all sizes. The one thing that I think Xero is falling down on, two things that I think Xero falls down on. Their payroll, particularly when I've had conversations with accountants, they're generally not a massive fan of its payroll facility. And the second thing is they are great at doing massive promotions for new customers, like they do 90% off, 75% off, but for their existing customers, they don't reward their loyalty. And in fact, I actually put a comment on Facebook recently on a post where they need to, and that's generally the nature of a lot of the comments is look after your existing clients more. That's where I would say the downfall. But ultimately, out of all of them, we would recommend Xero. It's got comprehensive functionality. It's easy to use. It's got excellent scalability. By the fact that it's cloud-based, which most of them are now, it allows secure access to your financial data from anywhere. Like I've got an app on my phone. To me, it's an invaluable tool for businesses that are committed to growth. So out of all of those particular ones, I would highly recommend Xero. We do also offer Xero training. Now, often I see where accountants, and this is no disrespect to accountants, but often where I see accountants training business owners on how to use Xero or any other accounting software, is they do it based on their perspective and what the accountant needs out of it rather than what the business owner needs out of it. My training is based on the key functionality so you know how to use it, but also about what you need to get out of it as a business owner, but also be able to keep your accountant happy so that they can do your end of year accounts and their quarterly meetings with you, depending on what package you have with your accountant. Okay. Ultimately, you need to make sure that you choose a system that aligns with your business needs. By doing that, you'll not only save time, but you'll gain deep insights into your financial health, which then empowers you to be able to drive your business towards greater success and that growth, that more, that maximizing your profitability. There's so much that I haven't even touched upon that you can do with accounting software. Like you can create your budget, and it can actually track on your budget in terms of, are you on budget or not? Okay, so I touched upon the fact that we do Xero training. We are not accountants, and we would always recommend that you have a trusted accountant that we work with you and with them to be able to make sure that you get the most out of identifying your numbers and really getting to grips with them and understanding them so you can make informed decisions. Now, if, for example, the financials is something you feel like you need a little bit of support on, or if there's any other part of your business where you feel like you need somebody just to come in and just see if there are things that could potentially be improved, that you feel like you're getting a bit too close to it, where you're not necessarily seeing the wood for the trees, or you've got specific challenges that are coming up in the business time and time again, and you really want some support in relation to those. So something that we offer is something called the business MOT. Now, the business MOT is effectively an evaluation of the business where we go deep. We look at every aspect of your business in terms of, if you've got a business plan, we look at that. We go deep into your financials. We even speak to your team if you are happy for us to do that. We look at what your marketing you're doing, what's your marketing plan, what's working, what's not. We really do go deep. And in that process, we will then establish what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, where are the spaces in which you could improve and how you could improve them. And what we would do is go through with you in that session those particular aspects that we think need refinement, as well as obviously telling you where you are doing well, because I'm a firm believer that people need to actually hear what's going right, as well as where there could be improvements. And we will then give you specific guidance on how you can improve those things. We would also provide you with a comprehensive report afterwards, so that you've got a document that you can go back to. And obviously after that, if you want to work with us, you are more than welcome to, but there is absolutely no pressure to do so. Now, we only offer a few business MOTs because they are something that, like I say, it's a time consuming process, and we want to make sure that when we're helping our clients, or doing these MOTs, that we give as much as we possibly can. So it's a very exclusive offer. So it's not something that we do all of the time, and it's not something that you can book in at any time. So if this is something you would be interested in, then simply comment the word MOT, and we can have an initial chat first of all to see whether it is something that is definitely suitable for your business, and then we can go from there. But we do believe that the business MOT really can be a game changer for your business, and it really is an in-depth view of your business. Now, we do other things like a free strategy session, but that is a very short and nowhere near as deep as what we do when we do the business MOT. So like I say, if you would like us to do a business MOT with you, then please put in the comments MOT. We can have a chat, and we can then see whether, like I say, it's suitable. Hopefully you've got some value. I hope all of my audience, they are on an accounting software. If you are thinking of moving over to, say, something like Xero, also do speak to us, because this is something we've done many a time with businesses where we've moved businesses from one software to another. I do hold myself out. I am a bit of a techie geek. I do love all of that stuff. And ultimately, I'm here to help as many of you as I possibly can. So thank you guys for listening, and I will see you